I got through high school, and just as I was getting ready and I thought to go to college, my father said, "No, you're not." I said, "What do you mean I'm not going to go to college?" He said, "I have one boy and 5 girls. Boy goes to college." He said, "You're going to get married at 18. Go out with some of those good-looking football players. But remember, always act dumber than them." I could do that if I was out with a math major, but a football player, is he dumber than some of those guys? He was like, "Gee, Cleeface, what all is in a Big Mac?" Sometimes they knew, sometimes. But in any case, I proved it to my dad. I worked my way through. I even got a scholarship. And I worked at the oldest profession to make money. A waitress. Pick up number 9! Pick up number 9! That was Mr. Charles. Now, Mr. Charles was the owner of, not the owner, the manager of the restaurant at the Holiday Inn in downtown Birmingham, Alabama. By then, it was Birmingham. This was 1964, the summer of. The civil rights law had passed. Number 9, where's your hairnet, number 9? And hurry up, your breakfast is getting cold, number 9. Now, he always called me number 9. I mean, he never called me Janet. One time he asked me out on a date and he said, "Number 9, you want to go out with me?" Can I tell you how that turned me on? You know? And so I rushed back in there before he could say it again, and I got all the breakfast, that stomp on your heart breakfast of scrambled eggs and grits and biscuits with gravy, sausage gravy and ham, and I brought it out to Ned Bader. Now, Ned Bader was a regular. He was a truck driver, and he was very prejudiced against coloreds and Italians like me. But he thought that I was cute, and I thought he was ugly, and I thought he was dangerous. I mean, I could just see him in his dress KKK outfit, you know, with his eyes bugging out of those holes because he had these thick glasses that made his eyes twirl in his head, and they looked really unsteady. And he says, "Did you hear number 9? He called me number 9 too. He said, "They're going to let them niggers in here and serve them lunch." And I looked at him, and I didn't want to show my joy. And I said, "Yeah, I heard." He said, "That communist Martin Luther King," and he pinched me. And that's when I let a little of that hot coffee spill right in his mouth. I heard number 9, saved by the yell. I went back and got some more biscuits out of the bread drawer, put them on a tray, and Mr. Charles said, "Now, number 9, Ned's telling the truth." He said, "NAACP has called me, and you're going to let some colored people come in here and have lunch with us." He said, "Now, here's what Mr. Britling wants you to do." Mr. Britling wants you, that's the owner of the restaurant, he says he wants you to get them their menus first, stand there and take their order first. He says, put it in and get them out of here as fast as you can. He said, "Now, the civil rights law has passed, and we have to serve them." And I thought, yeah, okay. And he looked at me and he said, "And by the way, number 9, clean up that uniform. Get that mess off of that. And number 9, don't be wearing those tennis shoes. You'll fall and break your you-know-what." And I thought, I know what. But he won't say it because Mr. Britling, they're a Southern Baptist family, they would fire you if you cursed or yelled body parts or anything like that. And he said, "And also, do your sugars." God, I hated doing my sugars. Those are those little, stack them up in those little, and you have to, everybody's messes on, and they played blocks with them, and you stuck them back in. But anyway, I cleaned myself up. I bussed all the tables. I did my sugars. In about 11:30, in walks Ned Bader. I said, "Ned, what are you doing in here? You just had breakfast." He said, "I come to see the fireworks." I thought, boy, I hope you didn't bring the fireworks. So I set him off in my back table, and I just hoped he'd be quiet. And I went to get a menu, and all of a sudden, a hush came over the dining room. I looked, and there, beyond the velvet rope, was a group of black people, African Americans, in their Sunday finest, waiting outside. Well, Mr. Charles walks over, very solemnly opens the velvet rope, and in walks these black people into the dining room for the first time to dine. Naturally, he set up all of my tables. So they're at my tables. I grab all the menus, about 15. I come over and hand them all out. I stand there, and pencil ready to take the order. The Salisbury steak looks nice. I heard myself say, don't be friendly, don't be friendly. And all of a sudden, this older gentleman sitting right there, he had gray hair. He seemed to be the one who spoke for them. He looked up at me and he said, you know, miss, he said, I think I would just like the apple pie. I said, okay, apple pie. And everybody chimed in, yes, apple pie. I said, all apple pie? Yes, all apple pie. And he said, oh, and I'd like it a la mode. And I said, a la mode? And everybody said, yes, a la mode. I said, okay, a la mode, everybody's a la mode. He said, oh, and make that chocolate ice cream. And I said, okay, chocolate? Everybody's chocolate? They said, yes. I said, wait, I mean, everybody wants chocolate. Everybody wants chocolate ice cream. You want ice? Oh, I got it. And I got the menus, and I ran back to the kitchen almost, and I heard, wait a damn minute. It was Ned. He said, number 9, I was in here first, and you're going to get me a menu. You're going to take my order, and you're going to serve me first. Well, I looked all over the dining room for Mr. Charles. I couldn't find him anywhere. And then I looked back in the kitchen, and there he was hiding behind the fry cook. I looked over at Ned, and I looked back at my historic customers. I said, Ned, the law says I have to serve them. And I don't have to serve you. And I'm not. Butthead. I did not call him Buttonhead. I did not call him Butthead. He'd have killed me. I wanted to live. But anyway, well, he got up. He looked at me, took his table and pushed it over. All my sugars hit the floor. He looked over at them, and then he stomped out of the dining room. There was a silence, and then there was applause. Mr. Charles came back in. He said, number 9, you're not fired.